Good day, Chief reporting for CTT. Today I'm going to continue my troubles and tribulations with females while I'm at Field Station Kania, Hawaii. My fifth and final platoon sergeant, as I said, it was Sergeant First Class Nagle, who really looked out for me and we looked out for her. So she came into work one day and she goes, "I tried fighting it, but you're the new NBC NCO." I said, okay. The person that had started it was a female. She got the initial shipment. I guess they decided that us being a strategic brigade and being in Hawaii, if we ever get gas, the brigade should have NBC masks so we don't all choke and die. So they gave her an office, but then they looked at it and they're like, wow, you've got too much space and not enough stuff. So they moved her and the other company, there was only two companies in our battalion, they moved them into like an 8x8 square information booth, because there was like glass halfway all up to the ceiling, and they put boards in so you could hook all the mask up and down. Of course, when you take over something, you want to do it your way, not the way, because that way you can arrange it the way you like it. So between me and this other person, we did that. Between the two of us, we had all the proper manuals to make one book, and we had all our discrepancies on order, and of course that was in the book too. So as soon as I took over, you guys are being inspected. Now I know why I got selected, because I'm NBC qualified, because I took training at Fort Riley, Kansas, and I was the assistant NCO while I was in the S3 shop. We had a regular 54 series, and I never did nothing except, "Do you need me?" No. So we get inspected, and luck of the draw, he got to go first, my partner or the other company, and he explained to the inspector, "This is the only book we've got. We share it. Here's the list of what we both need to make our own separate books." He explained that to the guy. Went in one ear and out the other, because when he came to me, he says, "Where's your book?" And I pulled the same book. He said, "No, that's his book." And I said, "Well, as he explained to you, between the two of us, we got enough to make a complete book with all the proper documentations and all the publications and FMs." Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay. So the inspection was over with, no big deal. I go to work one day, Sergeant Nagle says, "Hey, I heard you passed the inspection." I said, how good did I do? She goes, "I don't know." She says, "I just heard you passed." So the following month, there was an awards ceremony. Sergeant Nagle said, "Hey, you might be getting something." I go, "Why?" She says, "Well, there's an awards ceremony, and they're passing out for all the inspections," because I guess the whole brigade got inspected. So she says, "You might get something." So we went to the awards ceremony. The former female who first got the initial shipment of the NBC mask and everything got an award. Not only for starting the NBC room, but for passing the inspection that she did not participate in. Yes, Snickers, because she was not NBC qualified. She didn't get a chance to go to the school prior to this inspection, and Sergeant Nagle investigated. So when word came down, excuse me, I gotta get the cat. Yes, you got to come up here because I'm talking to the air. She found out that this specialist female was going up for promotion. She had no awards. Where did I hear that before? Back at Fort Riley? So that was it for the NBC. I was the NBC monitor until I signed it off when I PCS. At my work as an analyst, I have questions and I answer questions. So in order to get responses and send questions, we have these reporting masks. So one evening, I had to get all these reports out. So I pulled up this one mask for this one particular question, filled it out, hit the send button, screen went blank, and I didn't get a response saying your message was sent to get QC'd. That will come up later. I thought, well, maybe I hit the wrong button. So filled it out again, hit the button, screen went blank, and the mask came up and all my information was gone for the second time. So I call up the help desk, and it's my ex. So she comes over, she goes, what's the problem? So I demonstrate. I fill in my information. Okay, I'm gonna hit this button, hit the button to send, and mask goes blank and no message is sent. So I sit back because I know how she is. So I let her fill it out. She sends, she does the same thing. It does not send again. She works some magic on my machine. Why she didn't go back to her office to work the magic, I don't know. So she worked some magic and filled it out, hit the button, it got sent. So then I logged out and went home. Came in to work next day, Sergeant Nagle says, you're in trouble. I go, I am? Why? Well, your information is frozen on a report mask. Oh, well, let me tell you the story. She goes, oh, they didn't tell me your ex-wife came by to help you. So she went over there and straightened them out. And I pulled up the mask that I use, and yep, my information was still in it. I deleted it all, and I saved the mask and deleted or logged out of it, pulled it back up. My information was no longer there, but I heard they had to rebuild it anyway. So, like I said, we use these reports to send information and ask questions. So I was answering someone's question. So I made this report, put some information in there, erroneously added too much information. I gave them something they weren't supposed to get, but you know, you're answering a question and you've got the answers in front of you, not thinking that this one you can't send. But I don't send them. I send them to a, like I said, it's got to get QC'd, quality control, by 2 lieutenants. So I did this report, came in to work the next day. Sergeant Nagle goes, again, you're in trouble. I go, now what did I do? This wasn't all in the same week, trust me. She goes, well, you gave too much information in your report, but the 2 lieutenants sent it, caught their mistake, and made a correction, but of course, the information could not get erased from the previous message. And who's going to ignore, oh, we're not supposed to have this, but thanks, you know, yeah, we're not going to ignore this. So I looked at her and I said, say that again. She goes, blah, 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 their mistake. I go, you're right, it's their mistake. I said, they're just trying to put the blame downhill because there are a couple lieutenants and don't want to look bad. She looked at me and she goes, good logic. You're not in trouble. So she went and straightened that issue out. That's about it. Oh, wait. Balls. I just looked over at my notes. Being in the military, we have, back when we were fat and rich, we had balls because we'd have the MI ball, which is in June, then we'd have a Christmas ball since we were in Hawaii. So one of my female squad leader or squad members, she was married to a, Army linguist who got selected to go to Southeast Asia to help recover missing bodies from the Vietnam War because he spoke a certain dialect. They went to Laos. So he was gone for the Christmas ball. So Strelchek, that's her maiden name. She goes, Staff Sergeant, yes. Do you have a date for the Christmas ball? I go, no. Are you going? Well, I said I would like to. She goes, good, you're going with me and I'm buying your ticket. And I said, well, first off, no, let me clear this with Sergeant Nagle first because I don't want word getting around that a staff sergeant is dating one of his married specialists. And you can't buy my ticket because that's just not acceptable. She goes, okay. So we got it approved. So I was her date for the night and did a few fast ones. We, of course, sat side by side to eat, dinner. And a slow song came on. She goes, Staff Sergeant, you're not my husband, but I'm dancing to this song. Get out on the floor. Strelchek, you listen to her. Not that I wanted her to boss me around, but you listen to her. I mean, she was lonely. And her husband thanked me when he finally got back because she told him everything. And, you know, there was no big hullabaloo. There wasn't any repercussions for me being seen with the specialist and dancing with the specialist that night because Sergeant Nagle took care of everything. Like I said, she was good. So that's about it for all. I do have an update. I did have another soldier, how he got to us, because supposedly he never passed a PT test beyond basic. But AIT just forwarded him to us, and he got chaptered out because he was a PT failure. I mean, this guy literally could not run. We did a battalion, or we did a divisional run, and every time the division did a run, we would run with them as a brigade. And this guy fell out within the first mile, and I had to almost kick him in the pants to get him all the way back to the barracks. And it's probably a good thing I didn't kick him because he had an accident. I could not believe it. So this is Chief. Troubles with females. Will it ever end? I don't know. So this is Chief signing out. Remember, freedom's not free. Thank a vet, kiss a vet if you can, hug a vet, go to bed with a vet if you can. Chief out.